This is Kennet School, the entrance, as you know. Now normally you would have to go left or right as you come out of the school, but now we've had to go left to go all around the houses just to get 100 yards up the road. Up on the left, which the school is just 100 yards down the road there, but because they've made it a no entry to come back up the road, you have to come all the way around here to go nowhere. Anyway, this is the start of my run all the way along here, and just past the dead centre of Thatcham, which is the cemetery just here. It used to be all fields, and now they've just built what seems like hundreds of thousands of houses everywhere. Hiding them at the moment behind the bushes there, but there you go. Yeah, this roundabout wouldn't have been here, any of this. In fact, that used to be our old cross-country run, the school cross-country run on the left all the way up the fields there. But now it's all built on. So I don't know where they do their cross-country running. Yep, still running with a duffel bag on the back. This roundabout wouldn't have been here then. Just a straight through. All that was over there on the right was the Reed's paper mill, or fields as they like to call it. Fields was the place where quite a lot of the lads from school would go out to get their apprenticeships. And AWE Aldermaston, that was another favourite. I left to become an apprentice chef of all things. My tech drawing teacher wasn't very happy about it because I was, well, pretty good at tech drawing at the time, and he thought I was wasting myself. But there you go. The chefing only lasted about 7 or 8 months anyway. I was working 70 plus hours a week because they'd got rid of the chef because I'd learned it so quick. They kept me as the chef on £4 a week as an apprentice. Then when I asked for a raise, the manager, Mr. Staples, he said he couldn't pay me anymore because I was on an apprenticeship. But he seemed to think it was alright for me to work 75, 78 hours a week to do the chef's job, which I dare say he was getting paid the money to employ a chef. I'm not sure how it quite worked, but there you go. I decided to leave and I wanted to become a mechanic after that. Took a variety of jobs, working at Summerlees, which is concrete distributor. We used to make lintels and all sorts up there. Worked at Litwick Green Garage as a forecourt attendant. Worked down Star Works, again making concrete lintels down there, and several other jobs. Then eventually got offered a job as a mechanic at a job down near Waterers at Twyford. Still running, by the way. But I couldn't start that job for about a couple of weeks, so my mum's chap who she was living with, he was a plasterer, old Norman Denton, and he said, oh, you can come in and work with me for a couple of weeks to earn yourself a few bob. So I went in with him and found I was pretty good at that, so stayed a plaster for the rest of my working life basically. I had 1 year out when I went and worked on the council in 1972 because my brother was working on there and he was earning more money than I was earning at the time, so I thought I'll give that a go. Loved it, but the money didn't go up enough, so I had to leave it and go back to plastering again. And earned an absolute fortune at it in the 70s and 80s. But then the old health kicked in and had to give it up. I've worked now for over 10 years. And yeah, It'd be nice to go back to it, but I don't think it's going to happen now. I'm, 66 now? So I'm now a retired old invalid. But I'm still running up the road here, don't worry about that. With my duffel bag on my back. And we're just coming up down into Woolhampton. I mean, I'm going to have to slow down a bit here because the worst speed camera in the world down here. You've got a downhill slope and you can't help yourself but roll past the speed camera going a bit too fast. And a friend of mine, a couple of years older than me, about 10 years ago, he came through here and he got done 3 times in 1 week by the same speed camera, and he was only doing a few miles over and lost his licence for 9 months. He had to pay some chap to drive him around the jobs. Disaster. But anyway, we're still running along the road here. None of this seems to have changed hardly at all, really. The garage up here on the left is all completely different. But it's quite a nice old drive along here. I'd forgotten how nice it was. It used to be a 3-lane road then, and I remember we got picked up by a big old Yankee car one morning. Me and Eric Hobbs, we were hitchhiking to school, and this big Yankee car pulled up, was driving down the road, and back along the road there, just before the speed camera, you got some nasty old bends there. He decided to overtake 2 lorries. One lorry was overtaking another lorry, and he decided to overtake the second lorry. So we were nearly in the ditch on the other side of the road. Lucky nothing was coming the other way. We got to school all right, but we got a good old telling off when we got back because someone reported seeing us getting into the car. And there you go. Anyway, just round here is a pub called The Rising Sun, and when I went into care, which was 1964, there was a record out by the Animals called House of the Rising Sun, and it just seemed so appropriate. It seemed like they'd written the song especially for me, and yeah, every time you hear it now, it just arcs back to that miserable old days when I was first in the homes. And just up here is where we turned left. There used to be a little slip road just here on the left, but it's all been caved in now. Yeah, just there. But it's all been closed off, so you have to go up here now and then round. Just up here, there's some creepy old gates, or they seemed creepy old gates at the time. They don't now, obviously. But when you're young and you're coming up here in the pitch black, no lights anywhere, and you come across these gates, you're quite sure there's spooks and all sorts hiding in them. Just there. Lovely old gates, really, but at the time they didn't seem to be. And this nice little windy little road still ain't changed at all, really. Just going to come up and approach Beenham Lodge now, and I'm going to slow down, but I've got a big old van behind me and I don't think he's going to be very happy, to be honest. But never mind, I'm sure he'll get over it. But yeah, there's the lodge sitting majestically at the top of the hill. All that fencing and that's been added, and that garage, and that wasn't there then. And the little cottages there, they were all just, well, there was a little cottage, but the garage by the side was just sort of workshop areas. And anyway, that was the trip. That was the road run all the way from school back to Beenham Lodge, and kept me fit and healthy, I suppose, which is the main thing. There's the angry van going past. Never mind. Right, I'll stop it here then. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to share and like and subscribe. Thank you very much. Ta-da.